All right, so this lesson will cover 7.1.2.5. Use proportional reasoning to solve problems involving ratios in various contexts. So the key word here is proportional. We're going to set up a lot of proportions to solve these problems. Um, Stan makes a fruit cocktail and uses ratios to determine the correct amount of fruit. What is the ratio of oranges to pineapple? So I want oranges on top for 5 people. So oranges comes first to pineapple on the bottom. And then we can simplify that to 2 over 1. All right, then it says identify the proportion you can use to find how many cups of oranges are needed to make 6 servings. So here's my 6. So I'm going to start with my proportion of 2 to 1, oranges to pineapple. And then I want to find out how many oranges, cups of oranges, I need compared to the 4 cups of pineapple. Okay, so this is what I would set up now. To solve it, I would cross multiply. I would get 1 times x is x, and then 2 times 4 is 8 cups. So that's how I would set it up, and that's how I go about solving it. Again, using cross multiply, and then we divide by the coefficient. In this case, the coefficient was 1, so I didn't have to divide by anything. All right, so if pencils are on sale for $1.50 for 10 pencils, I set that up as a ratio. How much would it cost for 7 pencils? So I'm going to put cost is x over 7. Okay, right here I'm going to cross multiply, so I'm going to get 10x is equal to 7 times 150 is $10 or 10.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 10. So I'm going to get x is equal to 1.05. So $1.05 for 7 pencils. All right, Paul types 37 words per minute. Okay, so that'd be like 37 over 1. He needs to type a 5,000 word book report he wrote longhand before he can hand it in. So I need 5,000 words to be up here, and I want to find out how many minutes it's going to take to do that. Now I notice here I have my answers are in minutes and hours, so we're going to maybe have to do some refiguring here at the end, but that's fine. So let's do cross multiply. We get 37x is equal to 5,000. Let's divide both sides by 37. And so x is going to be 5,000 divided by 37, which is 135. Let's just say let's round it off to about 135 minutes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 120 from that. 120 would be 2 hours. So right now, A and B are not going to be my choices at all. So if I do 135 minus 120, I have 2 hours, and there would be 15 minutes left over. So D would be the correct choice. All right, so number 4. The ratio of pings to pongs is 3 to 2. So I have 3 pings to 2 pongs. All right, and says the ratio of pongs to plonks is 6 to 11. So 6 pongs, whatever these things are, and 11 plunks. Okay, now what I need to do is figure out what is the ratio of pings to plunks. Well, I have pings here and I have plunks there, but I need to do some comparison. So to go from pongs to pongs, which is the only thing that I have common between these things, I noticed that to get to 2 to 6, I'm going to have to multiply by 3. And that is how I compare the pongs to plunks. Okay, so if the pongs need to be multiplied by 3 to get over here, I would also have to multiply the pings by 3. So I would get 9 pings to 11 plunks, and that's choice C there, 9 to 11. So again, just matching corresponding parts. The pongs were the key because the pongs were both in each comparison. So number 5, for a cookie recipe, you need 4 cups of sugar for 24 cookies. So in order to bake 42 cookies, how many cups of sugar do we need? So there's my x, all right? So let's cross multiply, so we get 24x is equal to 42 times 4, which is 168. And then let's go ahead and divide both sides by 24. So I'm going to get x is equal to 7 cups. cup sugar. So Kyle always walks at 4.5 miles per hour. So that'd be like 4.5 miles per 1 hour. If it takes him 20 minutes to get to school, how far does he walk? Well, we have a little bit of problem here because this is 1 hour and this is 20 minutes. So you know what? Let's go ahead and cross off the 1 hour and change it to 60 minutes because that way we have minutes compared to minutes. All right, we got to get the same unit. If I have hours, I can't compare it to minutes. So let's throw an x up there. Now let's cross multiply. So we get 60x is equal to 4.5 times 20, which is 90. And then if we divide both of these by 60, we end up getting 1.5 miles. Okay, again, the key here was for us to notice that we needed to change the hours into minutes so that way we could work this problem out. You know, I guess the only other thing we could have done is change this to a decimal. You know, 20 divided by 60 is 0.3 repeating. So it really wouldn't work well to do it that way because we have a repeating decimal. We'd have to round it. So it works a lot better if we just change it to minutes. All right, so in this one we have the scale on the plans for the truck is 2 inches to 1 yard. Whenever you have a scale, just write that scale as a ratio. So like this right here, 2 inches equals 1 yard, so 2 inches to 1 yard. So if the length of the drawing of the truck is 8 2/3 inches, so I'm going to put 8 2/3 here because this is inches and this is inches. It says how long will the truck be when it's built? So here's my x. Now the only problem I see is that all of these here are feet, okay, and I have 1 yard, so I'm going to change this to 3 feet, okay, so that way I'm solving for feet and not yards. So let's go ahead and cross multiply here. So I'm going to get 2x is equal to, now I need to change this to an improper fraction, so 8 times 3 is 24, and then I'm going to get 26 thirds. And when I multiply 3 times 26 thirds, the 3's are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with the 26. Okay, because if I go ahead and multiply that by 3 over 1, the 3's here are going to cancel out, and I'm left with the 26. Now let's divide both by 2, and so x is 13 feet, or choice D. Okay. Allison does 8 math problems in 2 minutes. So we're going to say 8 problems in 2 minutes. How long will it take her to do a set of 160 problems? So 8 problems matches the 160. So let's cross multiply. We get 8x is equal to 320. Let's divide both sides by 8. And so we're going to get x is equal to 40 minutes because 32 divided by 8 is 40. Okay, and so that's the last example for 7125.